Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to go over how to draw a Halloween pumpkin, and I kind of want to walk you through that. We're going to be using these microns, and actually we'll also be using this pencil. So I want to show you how to draw that, and that's it. Let's get into that. Before you do, make sure to go to my Patreon page. On my Patreon, what I do is for $2 a month, I will give you an ebook. When you start off, it'll be an ebook. You get to see it's basically how to draw skulls and faces, and that's totally free when you donate $2. And then a free sticker that I'll mail to you, and you will also get kind of some posts that I never post anywhere else. And what I'm starting recently is I'm also giving you a shout out. So if you wanted to shout something out, or your art, or any something you have, for $2, I will shout it out on my Instagram story. You get all those things for like starting out $2 on Patreon. But go check that out. There are different tiers, and the further you go, for example, you get to be tutored directly by me at I forget how much, like $30 a month. So go check that out. Go to the link. It's going to be on the screen. So right now, let's go over this. I'm going to be using this pencil right here, and this is just a basic mechanical pencil. And since we're going to draw a pumpkin, I'm going to outline the general shape and where I want my pumpkin. And I'm going to do this for placement. And I want it to be, I think the vision I have in my head is I want it to be on a bed of leaves. Maybe it's growing out in the crops. I don't know if they're really on a bed of leaves, but if they're not, I apologize. And I'm going to be putting just simple shapes for placement, not going into the technicalities of it, but I'm putting it in for pure placement. And hopefully, I'm not even really sure you can see this on camera, but hopefully you can. And we'll try to go through this pretty quick because I know that we want to get into the inking itself. Putting a typical jack-o'-lantern face. And put the stem here, and these are all just placement holders. And that's good enough to really start. We're going to erase this afterward. So I'm going to grab one of the microns, and I'm going to grab the 05. Pigma microns. If you want to know where to get those, I'll put them in the description. They're on Amazon. They are really, really good. I love these pens. Technically called fountain pens, right? And I'm going to start from the inside out. So I'm going to start with that nose shape. And I'm going to put another small shape there, right here, to make it look like it's 3D, like you cut into a pumpkin. You're going to see that thickness of the pumpkin itself. And I'm going to throw small directional lines, kind of showing that thickness off of the pumpkin itself. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to just cut those shapes out. Throwing that same kind of thickness here in the eyes. And I'm going to go back in here and throw those lines this direction here. I'm going to go from the top, also from the bottom. Then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the mouth. And you can create any design you want for the mouth, but personally I'm just going to give it like one funky tooth. And I'm going to pull the bottom here. It's got that Happy Meal smile. And I'm going to do the same thing in a way here, so I'm looking up at it, but since the pumpkin curves, I'm probably going to see the bottom portion of the thickness of the pumpkin here. This is probably that bottom portion. Since that's round, I'm gonna throw again these lines along the short end. And I'm gonna throw them a little bit sparse, kind of everywhere. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just gonna show that the pumpkin was cut into, and you can see that thickness, and the pumpkin has some sort of a grain to it, you know, as it does. And I'm gonna throw one right here around the tooth here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and I'm going to do the outer portion of the actual pumpkin itself, keeping in mind those rivets. I'm gonna start from the top first. I'm gonna keep it. I'm not gonna do the bottom yet because I want to do those leaves at the bottom. Then I'm gonna throw the little rivets in the actual stem. Stem is like this hard thing, you know. If you've gotten a pumpkin before, the stem is very tough. And I'm gonna grab, by the way, a smaller micron, a 3. And I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna do these little rivets in the stem. They're these hard, directional, cool-looking things. They're like very tree branch looking. And toward the bottom of the stem, I'm going to make it a little bit darker. And these lines are more or less a little bit kind of random because I'm thinking of the twistiness and the rivetiness of a stem, of a stem sticking out of a pumpkin. It's got this gnarled twistiness to it. And I'm throwing these opposing directional lines to give it some sort of kind of depth on a kind of a small scale. And I'm more or less playing with the shapes that are coming out of here. So I think that's enough of a... I might go back and toy with that, but that's good enough for now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back down. And I'm going to go to the leaves here. And I did kind of trace out some leaves. And the leaves have this kind of heart shape going on. Go one leaf. leaf over here is coming out. There's a leaf. I gotta think of what's overlapping, right? Some leaves that are toward the front, they're not gonna allow the entire information of the back leaf to come out. So they're gonna hide it a little bit. So you have to keep that in mind. Kind of going over the shapes that I had previously established, like what direction these leaves are going to take. Just kind of learn to enjoy it. It's essentially just a repeated shape, and you're deciding which ones are behind the others. I'm using the 5 again, by the way, for this. I don't know if I mentioned that. These microns, like I said, are amazing. I think for pure inking and stuff like that, they're almost a must. I don't know what it is. I've used other brands and I didn't like them. Alright, and that's pretty much good enough for that. I'm going to wait a tiny bit here, and what I want to do is, actually I'm not going to wait too long. I'm going to take my eraser and erase a lot of these. Don't do it too soon because you might smear the ink. I'm just going to erase the lines I don't need anymore, which might be all of them actually. I can find the rivets on the pumpkin. Just generally I can just find those. Alright, so let's get back to it. I'm going to be using a 8 for the bottom portion of the pumpkin, and I'm going to be going over some of the rivets here. So the smaller you show the rivets, the bigger the pumpkin will look. Like the you know, the little striations. And the larger you show them, the smaller the pumpkin will look. Like the number of them. So I'm gonna go right here, and since it's the lower portion, I'm gonna assume there's more shadow. I'm gonna throw a striations here, and I'm gonna throw some wrapping lines. These lines will wrap around the form, I think, that will occur. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to draw a base of shadow, and I'm going to throw some lines that come out. Hopefully my hand doesn't get in the way. I'm trying not to, but I understand how, you know, the light works here. Let me try to move the light around. So with this shadow, as I'm going to throw again, like I said, wrapping lines, but there has to be a base, like I said, of shadow, because it's so low. And I'm going to be using, like I said, the 8 on this, the number 8 micron. Let me grab a smaller micron. I'm gonna go back to, let me see, the 3 here, and I'm gonna go on the leaves here, and I'm gonna throw a little bit of striation on the leaves. I'm gonna do that with as many leaves as I can. And like, for example, there'll be a little bit of a cast shadow from one leaf to the other because they're interacting. I'm gonna throw most of my darks toward the bottom because light tends to come from the up shooting downward, just generally, or moonlight, no matter what. So we tend to see things with kind of light hitting the upper part of the source, and then going down. And this tends to be more dark toward the bottom. And you can choose to make it maybe the ground plane around it, but let's go into the actual striations of the pumpkin itself. I'm just gonna find pieces of it. You don't have to draw the line all the way down. I almost don't recommend it. Just find pieces of where that's going to be and throw some side striations here as a style point. It's looking pretty good. Same thing here. If you guys like the video, please press that like button if you want more like this. If you want more kind of done in this fashion. And what I might do, because I think I'm at the end of this, is I'm going to grab a large one. I'm going to grab the 8 over here. And I'm going to draw a bit of a line toward the bottom. Like I said, I really want to ground this shape here. Draw some darks, again, put some dark shapes toward the bottom. I hope you enjoyed this. Please, like I said, comment. I want to hear your feedback, and I want to put more content that you guys want. Like, what is it that you want, and I will do it. Also, hit me up on Patreon. I'm the most active on Patreon than anything else. I throw more art on there. I talk to people more, probably, obviously. That's becoming its own little hub community, so go find me on Patreon. And one more thing I'm going to do right here. I'm going to draw a little bit of dark around the eyes. I want your eye to go there first, because that's eyes are the window to the soul, even if they are just jack-o'-lantern eyes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. actually, one last thing. Sorry, I know I keep saying that. I keep trying to sign off. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you in the next video. I'll talk to you later on. Say hi to me.